It's a lonesome. I'm up. Yes, it's a lonesome. I'm up. It's a lonesome. I want to answer the question about how Noah saved the animals. Okay, on the ark. You're saying that you believe in God. I think you say believe in God, but the Bible is insulting your intelligence. So let's just get straight into it. How did Noah carry all those animals? You say on the ark, you say how many dogs I'm have, different kind of dogs, right? How did Noah do all that? Well, the answer is very simple. Okay, straight to the point though. All right. And you keep saying the ark was like what, 450 feet long? And even if it was, there were three levels. So that would be let's say it's 500 feet long. That would be 1500, um, you know, um, feet in length. And, I think it's like 90 feet wide. But anyway, still, even if it was still, three levels, um, you know, you have a point. How did Noah, get all the animals you see today on the ark? I mentioned insects, mosquitoes. How did Noah save all the mosquitoes, All these millions of species out there, how did Noah do it? Well, the answer is very simple, and the Bible provides the answer. So let's read and see exactly what happened. Right? The Bible says here, starting in Genesis, chapter 6, verse 17. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh. Flesh, remember that? Wherein is the breath of life? Wherein is the breath of life? Okay. And from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. Okay, chapter 19. And of every living thing of all flesh, two of every sort, shalt thou bring into the ark to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. And you're asking, how does Noah differentiate between the male and female mosquitoes? That's a good question. The male and female mosquitoes. How did Noah do that? Let me find time for that. What is that? Okay. And reading chapter 6, verse 20, past certain things. It says, two of every sort shall come unto thee. So first thing here says, that Noah's not the one that went and found the animals. Okay? It says here that two of every sort, shall come to thee. Okay, so Noah did not go out and gather the animals. Alright? He didn't. And then that's what I'll get back to that too. But also, second thing it says here, and take thou unto thee all food that is eaten. Now you were saying, how does Noah feed all the animals? How feed a mosquito? And thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be food for thee and for them. Okay? So you must gather food that is eaten, right? It says gather food. It didn't say food, separate food. It said gather food that's eaten, and it shall be food for thee and for them. Because before the flood, right, every animal was vegetarian, including man. Okay? Yeah, they were vegetarian. Every animal was vegetarian before the flood. All right. So when you say gather food, it didn't say gather food for the animals and food for you. It's gather food, and it shall be food for you and for them. So before the flood, well, I'm sure they were eating meat, but they shouldn't be eating meat. I'm saying mankind, because mankind was sinning, right? So, but all the animals were vegetarians before the flood. Okay. And chapter 7, verse 8. This is just showing you that the animals came to Noah. Of clean beasts and of beasts that are not clean, and of fowls, and of everything that creepeth upon the earth, there went in two and two unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as God commanded Noah. So they went, it says here, there went in two and two. There went in. So God sent the animals to Noah. Okay? All right. So to answer the question, no, I mean, and just let me say this before I answer this question. Like for example, dinosaurs. I mean, how would Noah take dinosaurs on the ark, right? They're so big, right? All right. First, if God was gonna, put everything on a boat to make everything, to preserve life, you wouldn't want to take, adults. You know, you would take teenagers. Okay. Yeah. You would not take, fully grown animals to save like a species. You want to take, young, strong, you know, animals, right? So you would take teenagers, and teenagers are smaller than the adults. So that addresses the size problem. Of course, it still don't address what you say about mosquitoes and all dogs out there. All right, but we're not reach that yet. All right. Um, Genesis chapter 7, verse 15. And they went in unto Noah into the ark. So they went in. See, remember, Noah did not go looking for any animals. He didn't do it. Third time it says, they went in unto Noah into the ark. Two and two of all flesh. And again, flesh. When I get to that flesh, wherein is the breath of life. Okay? And they went in, male and female, of all flesh. Right? No homosexual animals around here. No swim arounds inside the ark, okay? As God commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. So I want to point out to you, there were no mosquitoes, right? That coming on the ark, male and female. All right? There were no insects on the ark, male and female. Okay? It's clear here. The animals that Noah were to save were animals that had flesh and wherein is the breath of life. So these animals must have nostrils and they must have lungs. Okay? Because it says here, back in Genesis chapter 6, verse 7, right? Listen to what God says. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. Specifically, flesh and breath. So, even today, Mr. Lonesome, when you have a flood today, after the flood, don't you see insects still there? Insects are still there, and they can't fly away like birds, right? Insects survive fine in a flood. They can float on wood. They can even walk on water, right? You don't need to go and preserve the lives of insects. They do fine in a flood. So okay, so scratch out all the insects, right? They don't have nostrils. They breathe through the spiracles in their body. They don't have flesh, right? With blood, right? Insects don't have blood, right? They don't, So they have no flesh, they have no breath. So no insects, no mosquitoes on the ark, unless they come and fly in themselves, right? And even then, they'll be preserved anyway, right? Feeding on the blood of these animals when they're on the ark. But anyway, that was not Noah's command. Okay? Genesis chapter 7, verse 21. And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl and of cattle and of beasts, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man. Flesh, right? Because it was, Noah was told to bring, every clean beast, thou shalt take thee by sevens, a male and his female, and the beasts that are not clean by two, male and female, of fowls of the air by sevens, and male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. So God is saying, that, all flesh died. That's on the earth, right? Okay. Genesis chapter 7, verse 22. All in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land. These animals primarily existed on dry lands. I don't even know if crocodiles, alligators, whatever, alligators were on the ark. I don't even know. But, they have lungs, right, and nostrils, so why not? Right? But it says here that all those animals died. Right? So now, we dealt with, you didn't have insects, and only animals that, have lungs and nostrils, the breath of life, that breathe with lungs, were on the ark. So then to your question, how did Noah, how much dogs they have and how much different animals they have, different kinds of animals. How did Noah save all the animals anyway, right? Regardless, right? Okay, you don't have insects. Okay, fine, no insects. Right? How did he save all the animals? Well, it's very simple. It's very simple. Okay, in the Bible, God does not, you don't have, in the Bible, in Genesis, you don't have wolves, you don't have dogs, you don't have coyotes, you don't have dingoes, you don't have mongrels. In Genesis, you don't have horses, you don't have zebras, you don't have mules, you don't have donkeys, right? In Genesis, you don't have lions, you don't have tigers, you don't have mountain lions, you don't have panthers, you don't have cheetahs, you don't have jaguars. In Genesis, you have kinds of animals. Okay? Kinds of animals. Same way in Genesis, you don't have black people, you don't have white people, you don't have Chinese people in Genesis. You have just the human race. This is before the flood. This is close to creation. All right? Can a donkey and a horse mate? A donkey and a horse. Can a lion and a tiger mate? Answer is yes. They can't, you know why they can mate? Because they're the same kind of animal. They go back to the cat, the lion and the tiger go back to a pair of cats. Even down to our domestic cat. If it's not the size, because the size they can't mate with a lion, but it's the same animal. All the cats came from two cats, right? Zebras, donkeys, horses came from, two kinds of animals that was just like them. Matter of fact, most cattle, most cows, right? You have like three different kind of cattle. I think you have what? You have the goat kind. You have the maybe two different kinds. But you have like cows. Okay, the goat kind, reindeer, the deer kind, right? And the cattle kind. You know what I'm saying? Cows, deer, and goats. They're kind of they're kind of different. Probably came from 6 different animals, right, on the ark, right? My point is that today you have many different kind of dogs today, but they're dogs, right? They're dogs, right? Wolves and dogs can mate because they're the same animal. The same animal. Snakes, different kind of snakes you have. There's just two snakes back on Noah's ark, right? Just like with if you don't understand this, right? Which I'm sure you do. You're a smart man. Mankind. Look at mankind, right? Black man, white man. We're all men. Chinese men. We're all men. We can all interbreed together. If you have a species today that can't interbreed, they're the same kind. Like, so you have some rabbits that can't mate anymore because they just simply were separated too long. But they can mate, but they won't have any offspring. Like when a horse and a donkey mate and produce a mule, the mule can't have any offspring because they've just they've been separated for so long. They're missing so much information. When they get back together, it just doesn't work. They have an offspring, but they can't. The mule cannot have any offspring. So he didn't have a horse and a mule and a zebra on the ark. No, he had just two. Let's call it two horses, because the horse is the biggest of them, right? And on the ark, he had 8 people on the ark. 8 human beings. They weren't black, they weren't white, they weren't Chinese, but they're all human beings, right? The Bible call them kinds of animals. It didn't say species. Okay, you gotta it's it says it wasn't there was no speciation. This happened over time, okay, where because of just people spreading out and animals spreading out far apart. You get breeding groups, right? You get separation, right? You get speciation, right? Africa, you live in Africa, you live in Europe. I mean, you're far apart. You're not interbreeding together no more. You're gonna get dominant features that arise, and then you become a black man, you become a white man. But we're all human beings. So that is how Noah was able to carry on. All the dogs that you see, it was just 2 dogs. All the cats you see in the world today was just 2 cats. All the cows, the cattle you see in the world was just 2 cows. Well, 7 because they were clean. So you had 7 goats, 7 deer kinds, 7 cattle of the cattle. All the clean birds. You had 7 of them. All the doves you see, all the birds, the hawk, the eagle, the osprey. It's the same kind of animal, but they because of time and distance, they became different kinds. So just just to answer the question. I hope that answers your question as far as you're using what you see today to judge what happened back then. Back then it was a different world altogether. If you read the Bible, you see that back then, okay, things were very different. So it's not the same as it's okay. You see a lot of dogs today. You say you see all these different snakes. You say how can Noah did not carry all of them. The same way he didn't carry black men and white men and Indian men and Chinese men on the ark. He didn't do that. He carried his children, and they were all the same color. I guess if they're from Noah, they were all the same color, right? So why aren't you asking how it is that Noah saved the black man, the Chinese man, the Indian man? Because you understand that we're human beings, right? Same way, all the dogs you see, all the snakes you see, right? All the different kind of rabbits, hares you see, came from 2 of the same kind. So, God bless. Jesus Christ is Lord, don't you know?